What's going on, guys? Welcome to today's video. A little bit of a different one, but it has been requested, so I shall deliver. Today we're going to be discussing the breakdown of the build cost on my LS Swap 350Z, 5.3, LM7, whatever you want to call it. There are expenses that no one really thinks about, and all separate. It seems like it's not that much, but now that I did actually all the adding up, pretty expensive build, you know, for a cheap LS swap. Yes, there are cheaper ways you can do it with shortcuts, like with running a stock ECU or stuff like that. Basically, if you just dropped a stock engine in it and you made your own mounts, or you bought the cheapest of the cheap, whatever, ran an S10 tranny on a 4.8 or a 5.3, whatever you want to do. There are cheaper ways to do this. I'm just letting you guys know. But this I consider semi-budget, and I mean, I wouldn't say no expenses spared build, because I didn't buy like the most expensive everything. But let me get into this. This list is all over the place. It's literally from like buying the chassis down to like the Raspberry Pi dash. Like, it's everything completely. So if this video is under 20 minutes, I did good, because I don't know. I feel like a lot of these videos drag on for way too long, and longer than they need to, and it's too much. So I want to give you guys a short-ish, simple, sweet answer that you guys have been asking me about. A lot of people DM me, and a lot of people just like in the comment section, like, hey, do a build breakdown. Well, now that the car is done and went to its first successful drift event, I wouldn't say done. The car's not done. There's more that needs to be done to the car, but it went to its first successful drift event, and it was great. So I consider it done swap-wise, I would say. So without further ado, let's get into this LS Swap breakdown on a 2003 350Z. So your initial chassis, you know, you can get them super cheap, you know, automatic convertible salvage crashed for $1,500, or you can get like, I don't know, I'm averaging it out to $6K. So this is like no sponsors included. Some of the parts I did get a break on, most of them I didn't, but this is no sponsors included, no shop time included, meaning you're doing everything yourself down to machining, and no exhaust included, because I just have some jank straight pipe that I made out of my stock exhaust. Stuff like that won't be included, but everything else down to hoses will be included. So chassis, $6K. All right. Average price of a 350Z nowadays. Coils, they are, I'm not even gonna give the brand a shout out. Not worth it. I asked them if they could rebuild my coils if I sent them out. They want more than the coils actually cost. Not worth it. They were $600. I got them on a Craigslist. They were used, but they were used. They had 8,400 miles on them or something like that, and they were from some show car in Florida, and they're one of one. But I don't really care. I'm probably gonna get some BCs or something. Circuit Sport Spring Bucket Delete, $190. You need that if you have true coils. You want that alignment. You want that extra option. Don't spare the expense. You need this. Camber and tie arms. Again, you're going drifting. You're going road racing. You want your car's wheels to be straight. You need these. Mine are just the eBay ones. They work fine. You can get ISR. You can get PBM. Whatever. Anything works. But the ones that I got were $120 for both. Well, for all four technically. Wheels. I'm clearly sponsored by Koenig, but the wheels run around $900 to $1,000 depending on the retailer you get them from. Tires. Federal 595 RSR. They were $300 for two, and they were $285 30 18s. Diff. We got it for $50. Weld it yourself, or usually people will charge you like $100 to weld. Not a big deal for that. Angle, D-Max rack spacers are $60, and I removed the bump stops. Decent angle, not enough, I want to say, but it's damn close. Paint job with the flake and clear that I used, just the clear alone was $600. The flake was, I don't remember how much the flake was, but I'm gonna say if you go to a shop, this one I'll say shop, because no one paints their own cars. Well, I wouldn't say no one. 90% of people don't paint their own cars. You're gonna pay. This is low, but $1,200. And mine's a base flake clear, and like I said, just the clear was $600. So that'd be like the painter making like $200. So it's not really worth it to them. So you're probably gonna pay more than that, but I just put $1,200 because I figure that's fair. Fast brand steam port kit. You need that. Jimmy told me you'll burn out the cylinder 8 or cylinder 7, whatever. You need a steam port kit that connects all 4, not just the front 2. That was $170. LS intake manifold. Mine was $200. I've seen them for $100, but yeah. So $200. 98mm eBay throttle body, $90. Air filter, $20. Throttle cable, $40. Thermal intake gasket. It's like a thing that goes underneath the intake. $70. It's like a heat shield type deal. Fuel rails, $115. eBay. Fuel lines, $70 for, I'm just including, this is just a rough estimate, hard line and soft line. Walbro 255 was, I think, $90. Fuel pressure regulator, $100. Bosch 42-pound injectors, Ford injectors, $310. LS2 coil packs with the brackets used, $200. Plugs and wires, $120. Wire heat shields for the plug wires, $15. Now we're going to move down to the engine. So Lunati dual spring kit that is capable of 650 lift was $270. Eagle Forge pistons are $700. Stock compression, not low compression. Chromoly rings, $130. Head gasket kit with the LS7 lifters was $450. 5.3, I put down $500 because you can get them anywhere for that. Melling oil pump, if anyone's curious, it's a 10296. It was $160. Trick full timing kit, $120. Adjustable, .623, .623 comp cam, Ed Gomez cam. They run about $360 to $420 depending on where you go. F-body water pump, $120. Upper hose, meaning radiator hose, $14. 300ZX lower radiator hose. Works great if you're using a stock 350Z radiator or a 350Z style radiator. Dirty Dingo bracket kit was $120. F-body balancer, $70. Power steering pump used, $80. Vacuum pump, $80. Needed that. You might not need that if you're running stock cam, but I needed that because I have a big ass cam in mine. Alternator, the original one was $180. It was a Tough Stuff 175 amp alternator. Wish I still had it, but it blew up because I didn't know you had to do the 5-volt thing for the trigger. The belt, $20. Power steering line, like meaning me making the kit that goes from the LS pump to the 350Z rack, was $17. eBay catch can, $20. eBay expansion tank, $20. I'm not really gonna spend money on that kind of stuff. Megan radiators, $160. Mishimoto slim fan with the shroud, dual fan, $180. I will be upgrading because it does get a little hot on the warmer days if I'm drifting. Headers, they're just eBay block hugger headers. It's the budget way to do it. You can get the nicer swap specific headers from ISR that are around $500 and they're amazing. I wish I had the money to get them, but I don't. Now we're getting into the actual swap kit parts. ISR mount adapter kit, meaning the adapter plate, the flywheel, the starter, and the tranny linkage adapter. Linkage, or basically the end piece of the tranny, the little bracket that makes the shifter sit in the stock position. That's $1,700. Big expense right there. Or if you don't want to use the tranny you already have in your 350Z, you can go buy a T56 for $2,000 and also buy the ISR mount kit that I believe comes with the drop-in shifter linkage thing, the short shifter, whatever it is that also makes it sit where it should be. ISR motor mount kit, $640. Sickie oil relocation kit. The can oil pan that I got didn't come with the lines or the relocation kit, it just came with the block. So the Sickie kit was $180. Sickie subframe bushings, $230. Sickie diff bushings, $150. Custom drive shaft, so you can either buy the ISR drive shaft, that's $400, something like that. I think it does take like 2 weeks to get made and then ship out, but clearly you're gonna get a quality drive shaft. It's a really nice drive shaft. I didn't have time for that. I wanted a drive shaft ASAP, so I went to CT Drive Shaft, got one made for $320, and it can support, I think, over 900, something like that. I'm not sure. I told them to just put the strongest stuff in it, just make it, I want to buy one drive shaft. Comp stage 5 clutch, $580. I realized my mistake with the eBay clutch because it worked fine when I had the VQ, but when the LS didn't really like it. Or maybe it was just luck of the draw. I don't know. I've usually had, besides this one time, I've had good luck with eBay clutches. It's never been a problem for me. Wiring harnesses. Okay, in ECUs. MS3 Pro wiring harness with the MS3 Pro ECU is $1,800. You can get the wiring specialties harness that will be CAN bus and work with all of your stuff, make all your stock gauges work. It's amazing, but it's a little bit more expensive. I think it's like $2,800. It's like another $1,000. If I had the money, I would have loved to do that, so I didn't have to rewire my whole body harness. That kind of sucks, but it's whatever. Not the biggest deal in the world. Or you can use a stock harness, and you can even send it out. I forgot what the I think it's just called LS Specialties. You send them out for like $500, and they relume your whole harness and basically make it a standalone. They delete the VATs and all that stuff. My wideband, $165. Raspberry Pi Dash, which again works with Tuner Studio, so I didn't have to wire all these other gauges or buy all these other gauges. Shout out to Ronnie, but the Raspberry Pi monitor, I believe completely built, would be $100, which is super cheap. And for the grand total of everything that has been put into my car to do the LS swap and the initial cost of buying the 350Z, if you're doing this, exactly what I did, and this, like I said, minus shop labor, which is a lot if you were going to build it yourself, and minus tuning, and minus the exhaust, the grand total, the moment everybody's been waiting for, is $21,527. Wasn't expecting that. Not the craziest build, not the most expensive build, but when someone's like, oh, well, I'll even, all right, so just the swap itself with no chassis is 15 grand plus some if you do everything yourself. $15,000. It's not a $1,000 swap. It's not a $2,000 swap. It's not a $5,000 swap. You can do it for cheaper, but there's always going to be those small things you have to buy here and there, and it all adds up. Trust me and believe when I say that. When people think like, oh, LS swap, cheap stuff, real cheap stuff, you can do everything for super cheap. You can do things for cheap, but where you save money in some places, you have to spend money in other places. There's no cheap way around it. Unless you're a CNC operator and you're nasty with CAD, you can't just make adapter plates. You can't make a flywheel that's perfect for it. You can't do all that kind of stuff. The mounts and stuff, you can cut some corners, but in the end, you're gonna end up paying a good amount. But at the same time, some of these FD builds, my car is not an FD build. If you want to tack on WiseFab, that's another, I think, $2,400 or $2,600. Again, still not super expensive. Again, I don't have a cage. I don't have anything wild, but it's a basic big cam LS swap, 5.3 swap, whatever. And this is a 5.3 too. If this was a LS1, it'd be probably $500 more. If it was an LS3, probably be between $2,000 more, something like that. Yeah, so like I said, there's a lot of different ways you can go about doing this, but in the end, it's gonna be kind of expensive. So I just want to put this out there for you guys to know before you just jump into something and think, oh, I could have the swap, no problem. I have the budget. I have like $4 grand saved up. I could swap this thing before spring and have my car going. I wouldn't do it unless you have another car and you don't care. It's a project. You don't care about the time, or you just have money like that. Just put another VQ in your 350Z for even if you go to the depot, it's gonna be like $1,200. You can get an HR for like $1,800. It's not worth all of the money that you're gonna put into LS swapping your car unless you're doing what I'm doing, and you have a daily, and you have somewhere to work on it, and you have money to spend over time. I'm not rich. This is over time. The the total number shocked me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if it's gonna shock you guys, but $21.5 thousand is a lot of freaking money, at least to me. So, yeah, just to wrap that up, I just had to say those last couple things. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope that answers a lot of your guys' questions, because I do get countless DMs about this and countless just questions in general about what parts I use and how much it costed. So I hope this was not too long of a video and it was mildly entertaining to you guys, and like I said, answered some questions. I'll see you guys tomorrow doing some Subi things. Peace out.